Hello. Stephen Pollard, sometime editor of the Jewish Chronicle, has written an article which appeared in the Saturday Telegraph saying that British Jews, or Jews of any nationality, I suppose, can no longer trust the British police. And the reason for that is this incident here, where a Jewish protester was arrested by the Metropolitan Police after he held a placard satirising a Hezbollah terrorist leader. The Jewish man was part of a counter-demonstration organised by Stop the Hate UK. Before detaining him overnight, so they arrested and kept him in jail overnight, officers searched his home in a failed attempt to find the placard, which the man had already explained was not his. I'll get into this in a bit more detail, but what I want to start off by saying is that Stephen Pollard says that Jews can no longer trust the British police, and I am reminding him, as Ghorbani has already told us, nobody can trust the British police anymore if they stand in any way against some sort of arbitrary political position which the police have chosen to take, and which is actually in contravention to the law, but who cares about that? No one can trust the police. Lucy Connolly cannot trust the police. Stephen Yaxley Lennon cannot trust the police. This chap here, who has remained anonymous for his own safety, think about that. A British citizen who can't be named because of fears for some other so-called British citizen doing him violence. He can't trust the police. And of course, Ghorbani told us a long time ago that we can't trust the police. And now Stephen Pollard, a newspaperman, has suddenly come to that conclusion himself. Well, hallelujah, give the man a cigar. I'm Granniopteryx. Oh, and this, by the way, is a banana. Anybody who has been on my channel for long enough will know why whenever I mention Ghorbani, I put a banana into my video sometime or another. Sounds like there's somebody at the door. So I'll tell you, I'm Granniopteryx. Please like this video. Please share it. Please subscribe. And you can contribute to my general welfare and upkeep if you want. Well, basically, you will be contributing to getting my horse's shoes next month. Apart from that, like, subscribe, and share. Now I'm going to see who's at the door. It was a neighbour. Okay, well, while we're on the subject of bananas, I want to refresh your memory about Ghorbani. I've been arrested 11 times, he says, and 9 of those included full-on interviews. And honestly, not once in those 9 did I come across an officer who seemed to properly understand the law they're meant to follow. Yeah, well, you see, this is the problem. The officers don't apply the law as the law. There was another case, a famous one, where a police officer told there was a group of Jews who were walking along a part of London, and there was some sort of demonstration going on. And these guys, they weren't holding placards. I can't remember exactly. I think it was a Saturday. I think they were coming from the synagogue, and they were dressed accordingly. The man was wearing a skull cap. And the policeman... I might not have got all the facts completely right here, but I do remember this. The policeman accused the man of being visibly Jewish and so told him to walk somewhere else. This is not the law. And you have to wonder, if the police don't know the law, then why don't they know the law? There has to be a reason for it. It's either carelessness or deliberate. I saw another video, which I probably can't find now. It was a man, and a situation where a police officer handed somebody a warrant. I don't know what it was for, but the man saw that the warrant had not been signed. So some people had given the police officer the warrant, which they said had to be served on this person. And the police officer didn't realise that the warrant wasn't valid unless it was signed by a judge. So then she moved off. I mean, there was nothing wrong with the officer herself as a person. As soon as she got the instruction that this was not valid, she stopped trying to serve the warrant. But she didn't know. Now, you don't expect police officers to be legal eagles, but you do expect them to know some basic stuff about the serving of warrants, don't you? And again, you might not expect a police officer to go into all the ins and outs of various laws to do with what you're doing on the street, whether it's acceptable or not. But to know that holding up a placard saying beep beep, showing a known terrorist, I can't find, just a minute, I think it might be here. Oh, here we are, yes, got it. This was what he held up. Now, the Telegraph, I am disgusted to say, the Telegraph said he held it up briefly, as if that made a difference. Briefly or for 7 hours, it doesn't matter. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a silly cartoon making fun of an evil man who actually didn't get caught by that. He was polished off by the Israelis in a bombing raid a little while afterwards. But you might say that the beeper did actually finish him off because Hezbollah could not use beepers or walkie-talkies. They had to meet in a specific location to discuss strategy, and that's when the Israelis bombed the location. OK, so this is Stephen Pollard agonising about this, and he's quite right to do that. Everything he says is perfectly valid. What I am saying is, I don't recall Stephen Pollard weighing in on the side of Ghorbani for this, which is no more than the actual legal position of the British government. Hamas is a terrorist organisation. I mean, the grammar is dreadful. However, I'm not going to complain about that right now. The sentiment is absolutely valid. He was arrested for holding this placard up. Where was Stephen Pollard then? Something has gone very wrong with modern policing. This deep malaise is the mindset of decision makers, which leads to grotesque caricatures of what policing should be. Instead of focusing on crimes that actually matter to people, they trawl social media looking for offence. I'm going to say Lucy Connolly's name again because Lucy Connolly's name deserves to be repeated again and again. She is a political prisoner in this country, in my country. My country is holding a political prisoner. I am so offended by that. My goodness me, it's causing me alarm and distress. Why isn't something being done about it? Why is the judge not being arrested? Talking about the judge, the judge who rejected Lucy Connolly's appeal is the same judge who cut the sentence of a Labour peer who was not a very nice person. Lord Justice Holroyd presided over hearing of peer jailed for sexual assault after the case fell into error. So he said there was something wrong with the case, so he cut the sentence. But Lucy Connelly, who was bullied into pleading guilty because she believed in the British justice system. She believed that the law was on her side. She believed in Britain. And this is what happened to her. One of the judges who refused Lucy Connelly's appeal previously reduced the sentence of a former Labour peer convicted of child sex offences. Well, would she have, would it be because she was in some way connected to the Conservative Party? Who knows? She's definitely a political prisoner. I'm not sure that Stephen Pollard was speaking out for that, but it's all linked. So he says, instead of focusing on crimes that actually matter, they troll social media looking for offence. Yeah, well, I'm offended by the way the police are acting. Is that going to get the whole lot of them arrested? I doubt it. In his police questioning, the Jewish counter-protester was repeatedly asked if he agreed that the image would offend. Okay, so remember there was a time, I'll try and find the picture of it, where the police were saying being offensive is an offence when it is no such thing, and they had to apologise. But this is in their brain. They can't grasp law. They've just got this one image. We can't have people offending people. That's it. And this guy was arrested and kept in prison overnight and repeatedly asked if that cartoon would offend clearly pro-Hezbollah and anti-Israel activists. So I was saying, do you realise that what you were doing offended terrorists? That's what the police were saying. And you have to wonder about the mindset of these people. And then, of course, there's the caution given by Kent Police to a retired special constable for warning about the threat of anti-Semitism. He was warning about anti-Semitism. And, and then he talks about Nihat Ghorbani as well. So Pollard is quoting this now, but I don't recall him coming to the defence of Nihat Ghorbani earlier on. He's drawing in the threads now, of course. But I've looked through the internet now. Mr. Pollard, if you have, then please let me know that you went to bat and wrote big articles for Nihat Ghorbani as well. I'd be interested because I couldn't find anything. Then again, maybe I was just looking in the wrong places. Okay, so, well, that's it. There's something wrong. I am going to expand this. And I'm not going to show it briefly. And I do hope I'm going to offend some Hezbollah people, because that's the intention. This was an evil man who brought death and destruction, not only to Israelis, I might say Israelis of any ethnic or religious persuasion. Almost the last thing that he presided over was a shelling attack on a northern Israeli town where 12 children were killed in a playground. They were playing football. And Hezbollah were jumping up and down with glee about it. It turned out it was a Druze village and all those kids were Druze Arabs. This evil man brought death and destruction not only to Israelis, but to the Lebanese, whom he oppressed. And that guy is absolutely right to make as much fun of him as he wanted. And Mr. Pollard, well, let's get this back down again. Stephen Pollard, it's for all of us. These fights are for all of us. The Jews show up more. They're at the cutting edge. Yes. So we know when Jews are threatened, There's a lot behind it that hasn't happened yet, but we all have to be aware of this. You can't just talk about Jews. You can talk about Lucy Connolly. You can talk about Ghorbani here. It's the whole thing. And most of all, we have to talk about the police, because there is something very wrong with the police. The government won't fix it because it's to their advantage that the police are loose cannons at the moment. We have to find a way of resolving that one. But if we don't resolve it, we really are lost. We really are lost. Okay, till next time. You can help my channel by subscribing and clicking the notification bell. That's quite important. And by sharing if you're so inclined. Links to my other channels and to donation methods are in the description. But the best way you can help is simply by clicking like and notify. Thank you.